Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing on this fantastic Tuesday morning? So we're gonna take a look at a few things. There's not a whole lot to talk about this morning. The DXY is trading sideways. Bitcoin is trading sideways. We got a lot of stuff going on. That's not really what we want to see, but we're gonna deal with it the best we can. This is the U.S. 10-year, 2-year inversion. If you want that chart, you just type in US 10Y minus US 02Y, and you'll get this. You have to put the 0% line there, and then you can keep an eye on the yield curve. There's some people that are saying that's not going to affect the markets this time around because blah blah blah. But typically, you kind of want to just don't listen to those people simply because it's pretty much done it every single time, right? Every single time there's been a 10-year, 2-year inversion, there has been a recession preceding or following that. So, yeah, we'll just keep an eye on markets. The thing that I'm noticing across the board is there's not a lot of follow through on some of these things. Let's go over here to the DXY and talk about this, as I was supposed to put it in the video last week and I forgot, or this week, Saturday's Bitcoin upload. So basically what we're looking at on the dollar is we're looking for this thing to break out. So here's your year-to-date chart. You can clearly see that you're bullish on the year. You're not up a lot, but you are bullish nonetheless. The last several weeks, or the last couple weeks, we've been trading in a range right here. This is what I want you to focus on right here. This is a down closing candle below support. Let's get rid of this. All right, there we go. So we have a break below support right there. And then the very next day, you retraced right back up. Now, you didn't create an outside candle or a bullish engulfing here, but the very next day is when you took out this candle's high. So we were looking for, or are looking for, the dollar to break out. Yesterday, we had a nice strong day, got a close above supply. And typically, if we're going to roll over, basically what I was telling people on the members only stream Sunday, before this candle was even here, we were looking at this candle, and I said basically, if you think that this is going to roll over, like if this is just the beginning, retracement of the expansion, look for resistance and then look for the rollover, then you do not want to see it close above this line. If you do get it close above this line, then we are going back and test that resistance level, and the resistance level is right here. This is the last one, the highest close of this range. So you need to get a daily close above that to confirm a breakout. So that's what we're looking for this week. So today the dollar can pull back all it wants, right? It can pull back as long as it doesn't take out this candle's low. We're going to be looking at this as a retracement, and then we're probably going to be looking to get short, Euro USD or something. We were watching Euro USD this morning, but here's the thing. There is your move down. This is your intraday chart on the hourly. So we have hourly res right there. Your open is here, so you are currently trading above the open. And if the DXY pulls back today, this thing's going to go higher. Now, if we go back out to the daily, we'll put this on here like so. Let's get rid of this. Let's put this thing on here like this. You can see that you do have a wedge formation going on here. We were looking for this to break down. We got the breakdown yesterday. So what you can watch is this area. That is your support zone. It's not a massive close below. I typically like to see these levels get broke in spectacular fashion. So I would have loved to see this thing close like down here to put a lot more emphasis on that support zone. So that's kind of what you're testing right now. So if you're looking at this as the legit breakdown, there is a measured move on this, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe I took it about down to here. So we were looking at this as a longer term swing trade, but we always take the swing trades the same way we enter any day trade, because I am a day trader. So I'll enter this position looking for continuation, and it does appear to be finding a little bit of resistance currently. Now just remember that dollar can pull back a little deeper, and if that's the case, then you're going to be looking up around this area for that resistance level. But if that occurs, if this thing starts to rip, we're not going to be looking to take a short on it today, because you do not ever want to short anything that's strong. If it's green on the day, then you typically don't want to step in front of that. As you know, that's what they call standing in front of a moving locomotive, or trying to catch a dead knife or a falling knife. You don't ever want to do that. So basically what you can do is just watch this right now, the hourly resistance, more so than the daily or the old daily support level. If this resistance level holds on an hourly closing basis up until about 8 a.m. this morning, I will be looking to take this short. All right. Let's go over here and talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't been doing absolutely anything for, a week or so. So since we finally got the breakout, we got the yearly open test, we triggered enough demand to go ahead and make a fresh yearly high, which was made here on this day. Since then, you've pulled back and you have found support. And this support has been holding. It has been tested multiple days. It was tested once here, and then again yesterday. And you can see that it's absolutely holding. So since this was moving up, since the last 2 to 3 weeks, you've been trading higher and you have found support. Even though the dollar was bullish yesterday, so was this. This is yesterday's candle. Yesterday was bullish on the dollar. This thing closed bullish as well. So what we're seeing is a little bit of bifurcation where these two these two assets are not really trading against one another. So, but what that means is Bitcoin is stronger than the dollar. If Bitcoin goes up the same day that the dollar goes up, then that means your Bitcoin is stronger. And if I had to take a guess, I would assume that $45,528 is where those people are setting in there with their positions. So yesterday I took a short on Bitcoin right here. Yesterday, watching this level right in here, I was watching hourly resistance. So when we traded up to here and we got well above it, I was basically waiting. I seen over here that we had this swing high right there. This one's a little bit higher. So as Bitcoin traded to it, got above it, and then started its retracement. Once we got back down to this hourly resistance level right there, let's get rid of this. Let's go here, do that. Once we got back to here, that's basically when I took the short entry, put my stop above this wick high, aiming for low of day. Boom. Took profits, moved stop to break even. And then yesterday evening about 4 o'clock, I was stopped out with this candle right here. So a few trades I've taken on this thing in the last week since Friday, Saturday, Sunday, today, or yesterday. And I made money on it each time, but I am not getting follow through. I am getting stopped out. That's basically because it cannot find any conviction below that daily support. So what I was wanting to look for, if I'm looking for Bitcoin to break down and go back into the range, is obviously this support to be broken. I mean, we looked like we were going to break it multiple times. And in both scenarios, you closed up on the day. That's important because at the beginning of the day, you were bearish. And then at the end of the day, you were bullish. So moving on, what we're going to do is we're going to watch support until we either break down. We're going to be looking at this thing to go up. Simply because it looks like it wants to break out. Every time it's went lower, you have basically failed. So, meaning, let's look at it this way. Everybody's bearish. Everybody knows about the yield curve inversion. Everybody knows about the war. Everybody knows about inflation. Everybody knows about every single thing that would make this asset bearish, but it does not get any bearish follow through. And that you can see that on other risk markets as well. Here is the SP 500. Let's get on the daily. We are not. There's the daily. Year to date. Well, let's stretch it out then. Hit year to date. Here we are. We're bearish on the year. Now, we had a massively bullish rally that took place once we were down here at these lows. You can get rip your face off rallies in bear markets. Here's the thing. This never reached bear market status. So if you go up from that high up there all the way down to the lows, you'll see that you're only out 14%. You must get 20% to be considered a bear market. So, I mean, yeah, you broke out above the descending trend line, which typically means, you can look for bullish entries, and you have basically took out the 618 retrace of the main decline as well. These are all things that I look at. Excuse me, let me get this over here like this. All right, so these are all things that I look at that could potentially say that you're going to go higher. The reason being is I'm okay with this thing making a weekly bull trap. All right, I am okay with it. Here's last week's candle. So this is the 618 retracement of your main decline. So from the all-time high all the way down to the various lowest point that was made this year. All right, so that's your 618 retracement. If you were going to expect bearishness, typically what you would have wanted to see is this start to roll over. Can it start to roll over next week or the week after? Absolutely it can. As long as you're not closing weeklies above this, or even if you do close that weekly, like if this week closes above the 618 retracement level, we will be watching the very next week to see if that week ends up being something like this. Because if it does, then what we're going to know is this was a false break or a rip your face off rally. So if that occurs, then we'll be looking for lower prices on the SP 500. If you close a weekly above the 618 and then the following week has bullish continuation, you will be looking for prices to go back up to all-time highs. You are just a hop, skip, and jump away from there. Even though all the bearish stuff is going on there, we got to follow price. Price is king. Always do what price says. You can find where those major areas are where you kind of typically want to see it roll over if it's going to roll over. And if it doesn't roll over, you cannot continue to inflict your will upon the market. You have to let that sink in and tell yourself something. So as long as you're trading above 40 or at least 45, 46, spot 60, you can look for bullish entries and you can target this weekly high. Because that's where the short side sets are. That's where all your near-term liquidity is. There would be more demand up there, simply being from the short side stop losses. All right. So, but right now, it's still bearish on the year. Still bearish on the year. So we have to take that in stride. Here's your year-to-date on Bitcoin. That's not the year-to-date chart. There's year-to-date. You can see that you are currently green on the year. To get rid of these levels. Currently green on the year, but there's not a lot of stuff going on here. Not as much as I would have assumed would be going on. You can see declining volume in this bullish rally. So if you look from here, go from here, the very bottom of it, and up, you can clearly see that you have declining volume. Now, I don't really use volume analysis that often, simply because I've known about volume my whole life. I never could find an edge with it. But typically, when you have descending volume like this, price tends to go up. Okay? Up. So since the volume is descending, since price is trading higher, you are above your yearly open. You did set a fresh yearly high. Your volume signature looks like you're looking for a breakout. So that's what you do. That's what you have to do. You have to trade Bitcoin right now trade it like it's going to break out. All right. It doesn't mean it will. So mind your downside risk. If you're looking for a place to put a stop loss because you think the breakout's going to be tremendous, then right there is a beautiful swing low. All right. You can take the position now and then put your little long tool here, just something like this, and then see where you would have to get to a 2-to-1 risk to reward, and that would be a valid setup. That's what we call a swing trade. Right there, put you almost into the next area of resistance for a 2-to-1 swing trade. That's if you use that wide ass stop. All right, but that's not how I do things. I am typically looking for the most narrowest entry that I can find, as that allows me to make 2% or 4%, whatever you're risking, then take all the risk off, move the stop to break even, and then if you catch that trend, you're still in the position with the same size or a little bit bigger as you would be if you used a wide stop like this. All right, so that's why I try to do that. But right now, like I said, if we're going to look for Bitcoin to break out with every other technical indicator that we got, then yeah, you're going to be looking for hourly support. So right there is hourly support. You're trading under the first or the highest level. If if you want to trade down here, that's great because that gets your risk to reward a lot tighter. So watch 46,525 on an hourly closing basis. If you close an hourly candle below this white line, 46,525, then you're going to scrap the trade unless the next hourly candle is a bullish engulfing. That would be your signal to get long. If you break, close below support, next hourly candle is a bullish engulfing, you do not take entry on the bullish engulfing. You wait for the pullback into this level to validate that it's going to go higher. That's not a confirmation. It's just a quick validation. You can use it as a validation, but there's nothing in this world that can confirm price is going to do something. Price is completely 100% chaotic. We never know what's going to happen, but that's about as technical as you can get. It will afford you to grab very tight and consistent entries. So we'll watch this level right there. And then obviously your target, if you get this entry, let me just show you. So remember how high you had to go to get just a 2-to-1 risk to reward? If this provides an entry just to get to high of day, you're looking at a 3-to-1 risk to reward. 3-to-1 risk to reward to go not even near the distance to get a 2-to-1 risk to reward. That's why we are day traders. That's why we do it, right? Because you are able to maximize the profits. So that's what we're going to watch. So just keep an eye on that. All right, moving on. Pound dollar is doing crazy stuff. That's what pound dollar does. Let's just go look at the daily real quick. There's not a lot to talk about, guys. There's not a lot to talk about. I will talk about Aussie real fast, but let's finish pound up. So pound's trading inside of a daily range. Here's your low end of support. But now, since you put in this close higher than that's close, now this becomes your support zone. And you can see that price is getting a little bit more bullish. You are above yesterday's high. So if this is going to roll over and continue lower, now it can do it. Not only is yesterday's high there, but you're also in the daily res. This is not a very big range day. If I go back over here, you'll see that you're only up 0.18%. Typically, these things will do up to at least 0.4%, 0.5%. So you can see that your daily range is small. You're in a range. Been in a range since this was put in. So this is going to be basically the top end of it. We're going to watch it. I'm not looking to short it. Not when it's strong like that. Right? Not when it's strong like that. But you do have a resistance level here on the hourly that you can watch that's close to the daily level. If you can't close above that, the dollar turns around, then this will go higher. Right? If the dollar goes higher and this rejects here or turns around or closes back under it, then you can maybe look for shorts. But the dollar controls these things a lot. It's not really affecting Bitcoin lately. I've noticed that a lot. And one last thing, let's go over here to Aussie. Let me look at the comments just to make sure that you guys can hear me. All right, looks like it. I don't see no complaining. So, all right, moving on. Aussie dollar, just crushing it. You're up 1.818%. This thing has just been on fire. On fire. Let's get out here to the daily. I mean, just look at that. This thing has been obviously just killing it. This has been the strongest currency pair for the last 2 months. And it's due to commodities going to the moon. All right, for 3 months, you've just been straight bullish. And it's even worse on Aussie yen. Here's Aussie yen just absolutely crushing it. I mean, we're in pre-pandemic levels. This is a monthly chart. This is, yeah, you see what I'm saying? You've already gotten above this area. So this thing broke down long before we even got into the pandemic. This was resistance. This is what we were watching last month. We got a clear and obvious break above it. You're aiming at that monthly high. That's where price is heading. That's right there. So a lot of people were looking at this as a reversal last week because of this pin bar. If you're looking to call a top because of something like this, a scenario like this, you typically want to see this candle close red, because if it closes bullish, then that means that this is a pullback. All right, that's a pullback. So if it closes red, then you know not only did it get below the weekly open after making a fresh high, it closed red on the day or red on the week. That's typically when you're going to watch for your weekly resistance level for short side sets. If you close bullish, then this is a pullback. So what you happen is you open, you trade up, you set in a high, then you pull back. Even though it's a doji, you pulled back almost to the open, you still pulled back, and here's your continuation. All right? So if you're looking for these signals to the downside, you want this to be red. And preferably, you would like to see it close on the lows. Then you can wait for the next week's open, let it trade up to resistance. That's where you look for your short entries, and then the thing rolls over. Now, we did get that. Let's go over here to pound yen. We did get that. We got that here. Oh, I don't like this chart because of the gap. Let's get it on Oanda. All right, so here it is. This is pound yen. This is the difference. You see the difference? This closes red. So we were looking for shorts on this. But you can see here that you broke out above. So just because it closes red, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to roll over. But it gives you a little bit more probabilities in that direction. Right there's going to be daily res. And I will potentially look to short this because the yen has been getting absolutely slaughtered. Now it might run, or if it runs up and you get a close above this, then I'm not. I don't like trying to pick tops. I'm a trend trader. This trend is up. This was a small pullback and you're getting continuation. It's not big continuation though. These are very small range candles because there is a lot of positions getting put on here. A lot of shorts are being put on. People are also getting long. It's just trading basically sideways. If you want to look to short a yen pair, I would suggest you short this one or look to short this one. And that would help also if the pound started to roll over. But you definitely got to have that yen bouncing. And that's one thing it is not doing. So let's go over here and then I'll answer some questions. Not emerging markets. I want currency futes. There's the yen right there. Japanese yen. I mean, this chart is almost identical to the US dollar JPY. It's just inverted. Almost 100% the same, right? So you don't have to look at this. You can look at the USD because this is the same exact thing, only inverted. But you can see that, you know, there was that stab lower. That's why you got that wick on a lot of your yen pairs. But yesterday and the previous day were bearish. Today you traded up a small range day. Found res, not on a daily chart. They could have found resistance from maybe that bullish candle. I don't know. Maybe an hourly something caused it to find resistance. There it did. Now you're back on the open. So this probably looks like it's going to go lower again. Just keep an eye on it. I don't like taking shorts when something's extremely stretched out. That's why I'm looking potentially to get that short on pound yen. But it has to work out. It has to start rejecting. As long as it's trading up, I'm leaving it alone. Right? As long as it looks like it wants to break out again, you got to leave it alone. But we can definitely watch that daily res. If it gets up there and closes below, close above, then the target will be this wick there. And that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot going on. We were looking for potential entries on the Euro USD today. It'd be nice if this thing, today might be the sideways choppy day. All right. Today might be the sideways choppy day because yesterday you broke down. So if this breakdown's going to be legit, today might be that choppy sideways day. And then the next day, Wednesday, we might see this thing expand on down to that next support zone. So we'll be all over this. We're going to keep our eyes on this. We will stop looking for shorts if you take out this bearish candle's high. Because that will mean that you did a trap to the downside, breaking down out of the wedge. So something like that, right? You got to take out this candle's high to confirm that a bear trap. As long as you trade like this all day, this is going to look really good for a short tomorrow. Really good for a short tomorrow. All right. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this fantastic morning? Says the bit rate slow, but I haven't dropped a frame. Everything's good. Just by damn it. That's Mr. Ray. Always. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good mornings. Good morning, good days. Hi, I'm again here. by, but I am not member or Patreon. I know this info can kick me away from the stream, but let's be honest. I'm not sure what you're saying. I'm not going to kick you. I wouldn't kick you for saying anything. Even disagreeing with me is not going to get you kicked. Doesn't bouncing off support multiple times means it wants to be bullish? Yeah, typically. Absolutely. I mean, Bitcoin looks like it wants to go higher, so you have to trade it that way. Look for a support test and hold. If this goes down, I mean, like I said, it hasn't been trading with the dollar, so I don't know if looking at the dollar and making decisions on Bitcoin is going to help you. Because a lot of things are not going as planned or as typical, I should say. A lot of market participants are confused. They don't know what to do. That's why you're not getting any continuation or follow through. Everybody's on different sides of the fence. Everybody has a different opinion of what's going to happen, right? And since that is that way, and I'm not talking about people on YouTube, I'm talking about legit financial institutions. They all have different things to say about what inflation's going to do, what, the yield curve is going to be. So if they're on opposite sides of the fence and don't really have anything to say positive, then, the market's going to react like that. But as long as it looks structured bullish, it has been bullish, you have to look for bullish entries. XU100. Oh, wait, let me do Tesla first. Tesla. Yeah, Tesla is probably going strong. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with Elon buying Twitter, but, Tesla's been bullish, just like the S&P 500. I mean, look at that rally. For several days in a row, you were just gapping up, and going. Gap and go, gap and go. You just found some resistance. You are almost up at all-time highs again. So this is not bearish, right? This is not bearish at all. Down here is where you should have stopped being bearish. Now, this is why I don't think that the S&P 500 is going to make a bear trap on its 618 retracement level, because Tesla gapped up above its and held support, and it's going higher, right? It's going higher. Tesla's a pretty good asset to watch for risk-on conditions. If Tesla's moving up, then it's a pretty good risk-on environment, right? And since that bullish breakout, or since the breakout, it's been cruising. So you have to look at it like that. You have to trade it like that. Trade it as a bullish. Now it's coming into a supply zone, so don't get long today, right? Don't get long today. The longing position was there. The longing position was yesterday morning when you opened. You tested this candle's open, and then you started to trade away from that level. So that would have been the opportunity to get long. Not today, not while you're into a supply zone. So now maybe you come up here, you hit supply, and then you pull back, fill this gap. You look to be a buyer on Tesla down here. Wait for that $1,000 area to be filled in, this gap, let it be filled in. Then you can look for support test and support hold. Once you get that support formation, then you're going to be looking for longs. And that will be in between these two yellow lines. So don't try to buy it here. Can it just keep going, ripping? Yes. But you've already missed it. If you're not already long, you've missed it. And especially coming into supply, I would not try to get long on top of that. So I don't know where it's going to be today. This is yesterday's price action. So, yeah. Be careful. Let that gap fill, then look for long entries. I'm pretty sure, I don't trade towards gaps or even talk about gaps a whole lot because they don't have to fill. Here's a gap right here that was never filled. All right, so gaps do not have to fill, and the chances of this gap ever filling are slim, right? There's the high of day. The next daily opens there. There's your gap. You did not fill it, and you left. So gaps don't have to fill. Here's another gap that never got filled, right there. And this is down in the $400 area, so the only way you're getting back down here is another stock split. That gap's probably never going to fill. This gap's down here, never going to fill. So that gap does not have to fill, but coming into supply, I definitely want to wait for a support test. Buy support in uptrends, right? So wait for a support. All right, let's go look at Apple. I think you're looking for Apple. lot of these things, I like these things that are these tech plays that pulled off pretty big that are now setting right at about all-time highs. There are other tech plays that aren't, like Zoom. Zoom is off a lot, so Zoom might be a good stock to buy just to set and hold, right? Just to set and hold. Unless their fundamentals have changed. So Apple traded up into supply, pulled back. Yesterday had a fantastic day. Today you're probably going to be gapping up. And then you're at all-time highs on Apple. You're right at all-time highs. So whatever bearish incentives were out there, they're probably gone. And if that's the case, then Bitcoin can rip. If tech and everything else is going to be bullish, then we got to look at Bitcoin as a breakout play. Nvidia is still off pretty good. Nvidia is a fantastic asset to buy. I have one of their video cards in my new machine. Look for deals. Don't buy stuff that's terrible, right? Don't buy it if it's 100 or 99% off. Buy something that used to be strong and that's only pulled back due to this pullback here, right? Look for stuff that started pulling back last November. Companies like that, you're gonna find good opportunities. Here is Netflix. Let's see what it's doing. Like Netflix, look at that, massive decline, very, very rapidly. So at one point, this thing was 50% off. That is a good buy. Netflix is not going anything, as it is the in FANG. So they're not going anywhere. So 50% off on Netflix shares, it's a good deal. All right? It's a good deal. And other people think that as well. Here's almost an inverted head and shoulders down here. Not a pattern trader, but if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. XU100, please. Oh, wait, one more. These are just me looking, basically telling you guys to look for stuff to buy. I bought Space. Space isn't one of those plays that's really, really good. It's a highly speculative play because basically what it is a billionaire's roller coaster. That's essentially how I look at Space, right? Yeah, maybe it does have fundamental applications once the company has their spaceship up and running. Maybe it can turn into some kind of transportation mechanism for durable goods. I don't know, but right now it's only being built for billionaires to be able to go to space. So yeah, not one of those fundamentally strong assets, but it was cheap. All right, very, very cheap. So I picked some up at $10.30. You can see that I've been in the red on this position for a long time. 89% off. 89% off. Unless the company's filing bankruptcy, I think that's a pretty good steal. And then I want to show you Zoom real quick. And then we can go. I know Zoom is not a value play. I just have it over here for whatever reason. Twilio, Zoom. These companies got hit hard. Very, very hard. Zoom is probably here to stay. Probably not up at these evaluations, but I think where it is now is a fantastic valuation. 83% off the all-time highs. And you're getting a little bit of pop. I typically wouldn't tell you to buy this until it's done. Is it done? Is this the bottom? Probably for a while anyways. Pick up a few of those shares. Just pick them up to hold them. Hang on to them. I think they're going to be worth more in the future. I think once the markets confirm bullishness again, this thing's going to go up. It's going to go up. That's a fantastic offer. Fantastic offer. Here we go on Twilio. Same thing. 70% off. Was 70% off. It's had a nice little 40% pop. We got to look at Twitter. We just got to. I mean, Elon Musk bought it, and he's already asking questions. I seen a tweet yesterday or this morning when I woke up that said, do you guys want an edit button on Twitter? Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I hate having to delete tweets because I got a misspelled word. So yeah, edit button, please. Also, quit censoring people with different political values than you or ideas. Where is Twitter? Twitter's in the red. Let's go over here and look. There. Boom. Look at that. up 29% yesterday. Got bullish continuation. I think you do get a pullback on this. I was watching Daily Res yesterday, and clearly it's blasted right through it. Big, strong move after that. That's what struggled with a little bit intraday. Let's go over here at the beginning of the day. Traded off down underneath that Daily Res, and then plop, but you got right back above it and went on up. So it's fantastic. Once again, look for support. Where's the next area? Right there. So we can look to be a buyer on Twitter at $44. I think, let's put it this way. Elon Musk has basically every company he owns, he's made profitable. I know he's failed in the past when he was first getting started, but a lot of his companies are in really great shape. He owns a 9.2% of the stake. That makes him the leading shareholder. He has more than Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey only owns like 2%, I think. So yeah. He can't directly affect Twitter as far as make new company policies and procedures, but they will listen to him. And if he gets a bigger share, right? If he gets a bigger share of it, higher than 10%, that makes him the majority, then he can make policy decisions and turn it around. So for whatever reason, Twitter started selling off February 2021. Everything else started selling in November 2021. So Twitter had a massive decrease, even on good earnings. Earning beat. So the last two earnings were not good, but these were. So it was cheap, right? It was cheap down here. If you would have bought down in these prices, now there's no way to know that Elon Musk was going to buy Twitter to give it this spike, but that's what I'm looking for a lot of these things to do. A lot of these things are going to start, seeing money compiling in. If the SPX is trading at all-time highs in the next couple of weeks, these things are going to bounce. They're going to bounce nice. All right, so look for them. Now I'll go look at the XG 100 after that nice, massive rant. I think half of you come for the rants anyway. All right, here we go. Let's get this stuff gone because these are old levels. Yeah, I think this is the lira, the Turkish lira. You're back up there at highs. XG 100. I don't know the BIST 100 index, but it looks like the lira. When the lira crashed, so did this. So it's what it looks like to me. And you're right back up above daily res. There's nothing to do now, my friend. Down here would have been the area to watch. Once you got the breakout, then you should have been looking for bullish entries right there. So here's the breakout above daily res. Wait, that's wrong. There you are. Here's your breakout above daily res. After you broke out, you had 2 days to get long. 2 days to get long at support. And then you would be sitting pretty. So now is not the time to buy it. You are above your last daily res there. But yeah, is it going to go on up, make new highs? Probably. So I just don't see nothing here to buy. What you're going to want to see is you're going to want to see a pullback. And right there is your next or lowest support zone since you've been just cruising. So watch 2233. Don't just buy it on the first attempt because this thing could gap down one morning and then just rock it all the way down here. You want to watch this for daily closing above. So the first day, you might come down and close on it or a little below it. Next day, you might get back above it. Then you can look for a support test. But don't just buy it on the first attempt because sometimes these levels won't hold on the first pass. Momentum will just carry it on lower. And then you have another real good zone of support right under you where you got multiple bearish candles here. Multiple bearish candles. These two were good on support. And then you had a bear trap there. Close below, gap up the next day, meaning anybody that got short this was stuck. And you're seeing bullish continuation from it. So wait for support. You got to wait. That breakout, that was the best place to buy right there. Not really a breakout guy, but it gave you 2 days of support tests and holding, so that would have been your entry. Looks like it wants to go higher. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, SPX, please. We did SPX already a little bit. We'll go look at it again. So basically, we're going to look, not today, we're not going to look for bullish entries today, but down here is daily support. So that's probably where I would look. I don't think you're going to get down there. I think today's just going to be one of those small range days, a pullback, because you're bouncing. So the beginning portion of the week wants to go higher. Is it possible that this is the first move of the weekly range, and then you're going to look for a massive collapsing weekly range? The way you can know that is if you get a daily close below this support zone. If you get that, then you have then you can look for short entries if you want to. But as long as you're trading above that, you got to look for bullishness. Last week closed under it, but this week you're getting bullish continuation. Last week closed under it. So we're at a potential turning point. We just need time to know what's going to happen. So you can see, it's definitely at one of those zones. There's a nice couple highs to liquidate there. We got that, and then the pullback. So if this thing finds resistance somewhere and rolls over, we will look to short it. But not today. Not today. Today looks just like a regular little old standard pullback. You can watch 45.62 for potential bullish entries today. But I mean, if it gets down there, you need to see it start to turn around almost immediately. Almost immediately. That's just that daily high. I doubt you get under hourly support. So these two zones right here, if price spikes down there and holds, actually I wouldn't like it so much if it did it today, but maybe tomorrow. But those two areas to watch would be 45.68 and 45.63 for potential support. DXY seems to be going down. It might be today. Okay, it might be today, but this thing is bullish. You're up on the year, right? We know that for a fact. You're bullish on the year. You're trading at monthly resistance, but you've been trading in a range. It's going down today because you're pulling back. Yesterday you broke above supply. Today you're coming in retesting supply. You're probably going to see a breakout in the next 3 to 4 days. This thing's going to be trading at $100 not too long, and not the too distant future. I'll be wrong if you get a down below this swing low. As long as you're trading above this swing down here, you're bullish. You're looking for the breakout. Looking for the breakout. Now, that doesn't smell bullish for your SPX, Bitcoins, all that stuff. But like I said, they haven't really been trading with one another. The other day, everything was green, including the dollar. The dollar closed green. SPX closed green. Bitcoin closed green. That's typically not what you see happening in normal circumstances. But we're not in normal circumstances. So we're going to trade these things purely on the technicals, because when the fundies guys are as mixed as they are, then the only thing that you can rely on is technicals. And these technicals work. That's why you guys are here, because you've seen them work over and over and over again. It's awesome to hear your take on the potential new all-time high. Appreciate skepticism last week. Unfortunate. All-time high on what? I'm not talking about all-time highs on Bitcoin. Absolutely not. The SPX, you could potentially get up to new all-time highs. You're only like 4 or 5, 10% away from the all-time highs. Right? And I'm saying maybe we're at a very crucial turning point here. If this thing stalls out here, I will be bearish on it again. I will be bearish again if this thing breaks down. If you come out here next week and you put in something like this, if I see something like that, I am bearish again. Then I will be looking for this thing to roll right back down. Something like that occurs. Right? I don't think it's going to happen because we're seeing a nice little pop off of that. And today is just a small range pullback day. Right? But Bitcoin, no way. All-time highs this year, not happening. Inflation is still trending up. Could it stay bullish, get up to in the 55, 60K region before the year end? Yeah. I just cannot see this thing making new all-time highs in a very unbullish backdrop. Unbullish as you can get. And for Bitcoin to reach all-time highs, it's going to be a 50% move. Now, crypto can do stuff like that. In the past, it has been able to, but now you got so many people that are in Bitcoin, the price is going to start to slow its roll a lot. The more people, the more adoption Bitcoin gets, the smaller the price ranges will be, and then that will also in turn bring in more adoption. And it'll be like gold, right? A 4 or 5% day on gold is a big, big day. Eventually, that'll be the same for Bitcoin, as long as it gets its mass adoption. 4 or 5% day on Bitcoin being a very big day, those will be fantastic times. But we'll probably be trading at untold regions at that point in time. I'm still looking at Bitcoin to roll over because it just can't get anything going. Got fresh yearly highs, but as long as you're above the yearly opening range, I will have to look at it as potentially bullish. Potentially bullish. There was your support test, so you're already getting a bounce. That's where we wanted to see it test. We got that right there. Now you're going up. For now, right? But that's where the entry was, right there. Stream is a little stream title. Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. Gotcha. Yeah, no, you're fine. It's a public stream. You're good to go. Sorry about that. NASDAQ 100 index. Let's go look at the... I can't remember what it is. I always forget the ticker symbol. It's going to look similar to the S&P 500. I think, if I ain't mistaken, though, this one is not above its 618 retrace. Yeah, you're not. So this one doesn't look nearly as bullish as the SPX. You're under the 618 retracement on this. However, it's the same exact formation, pattern, candlesticks. Right? I mean, this is almost identical to the SPX. It trades almost right in line with it. And today, you're seeing yesterday, nice, strong, bullish day. Today, small range. That's typical for a pullback. So intraday time frames, or where you're going to be looking for potential support, would be there. That's the only one until you get down here, or this resistance level. So the NQ1 or NASDAQ looks like it wants to get bullish again. Very small range. A spike down to there. As long as that area holds on an hourly closing basis, you're going to be looking for the same thing that we just looked for on Bitcoin. Same exact scenario. Test, bounce. Test, bounce. That's what you want to see. If you get back under here, then if you took this long position and you get your stop down here below this swing low, if you start to trade under there, don't eat a full stop. Just go ahead and exit the position, because if I'm right, if this is the level that it's going to bounce from, you should not be back down there to test that. In fact, if you get under that, 46,567, then you're probably going lower. As long as this thing closes nice and strong, a retest of this level would be a potential another buying up. But like I said, it's been stalling out up here, guys. You are into resistance, so I mean, looking for the breakout, the best way to buy breakout or look for breakouts is to buy support. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But it looks like it wants to go. Yesterday, you could not get any bearish continuation. You were right back up into your areas of resistance again. So when that occurs, we typically look for the breakout. But it could be a fake out. Markets are chaotic. But that is the high probable entry. That's the high probable area to look for trade entries. And it's already been executed. Could you look at... I did that. Thank you. Stream a little... Oh, got you. Read that as well. Bitcoin made its huge move after Biden's election. Bitcoin also has a role as unconfiscatable asset besides just being risk on. I think that's helpful. Be strong recently. with sanctions. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I understand that it's unconfiscatable, but believe me, it can be confiscated. Trust me. Just ask the Silk Road guy if it's unconfiscatable. He'll tell you that it's not. They took all of his Bitcoins. So it is, it's technically supposed to be unconfiscatable as long as the government don't have your keys, they can't get your coins. But they can apply pressure to you to get those keys. Trust me. Just ask him. He'll tell you. Kind of going to be difficult to ask him, though, because I think they threw him under the prison. Nobody's heard from that guy since they caught him. Greetings, boss, please. API 3. Yeah, let's go look at it. It's been hot as of late. Wait a minute. It's API 3 USD. Been absolutely crushing it. But it's a new asset, I think. Or no, it is. Yeah, it's new. Well, it was crushing it. It's not anymore, is it? It's kind of pulling back. I don't know what this is. I don't understand. I don't know its utility. White papers, nothing. I have never looked into this asset. But the technicals look like, some people are going to tell you that this probably looks like it's trying to form a cup and handle. And I would say they're probably right. As long as you're trading above support, be bullish. Let's see where it is year to date. Year to date, you're bullish. Slightly. You're up on the year. That's good. If you're looking at a yearly basis, just put this into perspective. You get 4 quarters each year. And if you're trading on a yearly basis, an asset that's bullish on the year after the first quarter, you can typically look for that to find support under normal trading conditions. So here, let me show you what I mean. If I bring this over here, right there was your yearly open. But just look at the yearly close. Support. So if you get below that, then you're going to be right on the year. And then, typically you might not want to look for bullish entries until a support is formed. But right now you've already formed support. You've already had an expansion. You're pulling back in to retest old res, and it looks like it's holding. So there it was. Boom, 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 gone. It's not got really big bullish days, though, so I don't typically like that. But it's still bullish. So you're not looking for any entries on this because you're into resistance. Wait for the low end. Wait for the low end of the range to be tested again. You tested it yesterday, right there. That's your support. Yesterday you tested it. So, I don't see anything to do on this today. Unless it holds here, then you might want to short it back down to support. I don't know. But I don't trade it. Hopefully that helps. What time is it? Gotta wrap it up pretty soon. We looked at Tesla and Apple already. Apple's at all-time highs. TRIAUS, almost at all-time highs. TRIAS USDT. Trios. I don't know what this is either, but it's been bullish the last several days. This looks good. It's terribly down from the all-time highs. Oh my gosh. That thing rips, man. When it gets going, it rips. Let's just see where it is off of the all-time highs. So this did not go make new all-time highs. They're 78% off the highs. So when Bitcoin made its all-time high run, this one did not make it to all-time highs. It looks like you have put in a near-term low, a near-term bottom. You're still red on the year. So, I would typically be looking to short this if it gets up to there, $9.17. So, once it clears these two regions of liquidity here, that liquidity, this liquidity. Once we get above that, especially if we reject, I'm going to be looking for shorts. Take it right back down. Right back down. However, Well, I mean, if you look at it like the S&P 500 and you try to put a trend line on this thing, you have broken out, right? There. Boop. Little boopy right there. There's your breakout. Near-term bullish. The play was down here at support, guys. When I tell you watch for support, that's what I mean, because you can see that it works constantly, over and over again. Now, in these days here, you kept making lower and lower supports, but on this day right there, that would have been your key to look for bullish entries. Unfortunately, it did not give you one. Did not give you one. It just went and was gone. You're coming into resistance again, though. There. And then the next one is up there. And then once we get up to $9.17, that's where I'll be potentially looking for shorts. Up in there. I got to see both those swing lows get liquidated first. Or swing highs, sorry. And XLF, the financial sector. I trade this a lot. This is one of my favorite things to trade, just because, you know, it sometimes moves pretty good. Doesn't really move a whole lot. You can see it doesn't have a lot of alpha. It takes a long ways to just get $1, but you can load up on options on this thing. It has a fantastic liquidity on its options. You can get in and out of positions, big positions, fairly simple. That's why I love trading it. You're pulling back a little bit. So yeah, it was bullish like the SP 500, but this thing, let's see, yeah. So that's, if you're looking for this to be like what the S&P 500 turns into, then you're probably going to be a little bearish, right? Probably going to be a little bearish. You're bearish on the year. There's your yearly opening range. I'd be looking for shorts, or I will be looking for shorts. But I need a test of resistance. So right around in there, 38.71. If we get a stab up to there, as long as that holds on a daily closing basis, then I'd be looking to potentially take it lower, back down to $37. I don't know why the financials would be pulling back. So this is the thing, because raising interest rates will be good for the financial institutions. They make money when interest rates are higher. So rising interest rates, you would think that would be good for the financial sector, but I'm not a fundy guy. You'd have to talk to someone that knows more about fundamentals. But, I mean, if that's the case, then this is probably going to be a pullback, and this is probably going to be bullish. Just because it's red on the year right now doesn't mean it's going to remain that way, okay? So, if everything keeps going the way it's going, though, you know, maybe shorts. 38.71. That's about as that's the only place I would want to short it. If it holds there, then maybe. But if it bounces, it gets above that, then I'm no longer thinking short on this because of interest rates. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I'll do one more FTM. And Cassidy, I'll look at yours inside of the Discord if you don't mind, because I gotta wrap it up real fast. What is that? FTM? Is that USDT? Let's go look at it. Phantom. Yeah, what is that? It's Phantom, dummy. All right, old, but you know they're relevant. So there was a resistance test there. Boom, right there. Traded into it. You're slightly pulling back, but once again, you're at support. So as long as this thing doesn't close below this, you're going to be looking for it to go to the upside of the range. So watch for this to find support. Doesn't mean it will. If you close below it today, like down in here, then you got to wait to see if that was a bear trap or not. You got to wait for the next day. But I don't think you're going to have to wait that long. I think this thing, if Bitcoin starts to go higher today, which is kind of what we're looking for, this may do it as well. So watch 153.506. That's a daily level. If you get back above that on an hourly closing basis, you might want to look to buy if it gets another retest there. And then obviously your stop would be below their swing low. So if it starts to go up from here, this candle's low will be that swing low. If it continues to go lower, then you're going to close under daily support. All right. So that means the order flow today would be bearish. you are making lower highs on the hourly chart. So your order flow is bearish, but you're into daily support, and that changes everything. All right, guys, you have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section below, as I always answer them. And other than that, we're going to watch to see if Bitcoin can get any footing today. Maybe break out in the next couple days. That would be nice. So that's what we're going to look for. We don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we'll see. You guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody.